On paper, this is simple. Arsenal at home, League One opposition away, FA Cup fourth round. But this is a competition that has humbled giants before. So the big question is, do we rotate or do we risk it? Welcome back to the Arsenal. Following the draw against Brentford on Wednesday, the Gunners are going to basically take that distraction of the Premier League and move to cup competitions where we play Wigan Athletic in the FA Cup tomorrow. It is a competition that Arsenal has the best record in, 14 wins. And our current manager, Mikel Arteta, this is the only trophy. I'm not community shield. Don't talk about community shield, please. This is the only trophy that he has won in his 6-year tenure at the club. You know, so the narrative of this fixture basically writes itself. Premier League title contenders taking on a League One opposition team, and if history has taught us anything, the FA Cup is not about the amount of league titles you've won. This is a competition that is focused on what you do on the day. Last season, a certain Plymouth Argyle got a win against Liverpool, and everyone went bonkers and crazy about it. But this Wigan Athletic, they are not even in the championship. They are in League One, and they are 22nd out of 24 in League One. So when I'm talking about the trenches, Wigan is really in the trenches right now. Or how will Arsenal pan out? Looking at our form, our season has basically shown some level of maturity and depth. Arsenal has done very well in the games they've played so far. I think I'm getting close to the 40 game mark. I know we have 31 wins in 38 games, just 3 defeats, and I think 6 draws, with the last draw coming when we played against Brentford in the Premier League. However, this is the competition that Arsenal cares about deeply. This competition also matters to us because right now, as you know, we're competing on 4 fronts. Arsenal is currently on top in the Premier League with 12 games to go, 4 points ahead. Arsenal is currently in the finals of the Carabao Cup against Man City. That match is going to happen in 5 weeks' time. Arsenal is also in the knockout round of the Champions League. There's the playoff fixtures to go, but certainly we're going to play either between Olympiacos, Bayer Leverkusen, Borussia Dortmund, or Atalanta. Then there's the business of the FA Cup. Silverware changes perception. FA Cup will serve as a confidence accelerator, a momentum stabilizer, a distraction if it's handled. So Arsenal needs to ensure that, we just get the fixture out of the way and do what is required to get the victory. Our form hasn't been too bad. In the Premier League, it has been quite patchy. The last 6 games, Arsenal has won just 2. There was the draw against Nottingham Forest. There was the draw against Liverpool. There was the loss to Man United. There was the routine exceptional win against Leeds and the win against Sunderland before the draw against Brentford. So, the lads are tired. These guys have played too many games. We have some injuries we're contending with as well. What is important is that Arsenal needs to do enough to get a result against Wigan, and the form that we have and the players that are being rested can come to this game and, show what they are made of. And that's quite important because I know that Arsenal is a team that needs to win this game for momentum before they go to the game against Wolves and Tottenham. So right now, Mikel Arteta's team is doing all right. Our attacking, in all honesty, hasn't been as good as we'd expect it to be. Yes, we've had a couple of goals scored and all that. We have 50 goals in Premier League right now, but the attacking spread, some players still need to step up. So that's just basically what Arsenal's from quite good and should be enough to get something against Wigan. Wigan, on the other hand, are really, really struggling. In their last 6 games, they've lost 5 and drawn 1. They are very low in the League One. They're really, really struggling. They will come into this game as underdogs, as you would expect. But you know how it is. They come with a compact low block, try to do transition, try to be aggressive with set pieces, and of course, nothing to lose. So this is a team that hasn't done well. I think they've even fired their manager. What was that his name again? I know Glenn Whelan is the caretaker. They sacked Ryan Lowe. Yes, Ryan Lowe was sacked after the terrible run of results that are seeing them go into the relegation zone of League One, and this can potentially see them even drop to League Two. That's something that we know they will not hope for. So, to injury and suspension news, obviously we have heard about the Kai Havertz news. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Mikel Merino had a successful surgery for his foot injury, and he's not going to play till the end of the season. We had Bukayo Saka come off the bench in the Brentford game and basically do nothing. You could see that he was still struggling throughout the entire game. If you notice the bench, he had like, was he cold compressor? But there was something that he was putting on his hamstrings while he was sitting on the bench. Which kind of makes me wonder why he was brought on, because even though Madueke was struggling, he scored a goal, and that should have given him some level of confidence. We were taking away from a Saka that basically didn't have anything to do. He was struggling in that game. You feel like he's not fully fit, and he probably need to get into the hang of things with time. You see Martin Odegaard, who was also injured, coming at halftime for Iberichi Eze. So right now, I think the major injury absentees are Kai Havertz with the muscular injury, Max Dowman with the ankle injury, Mikel Merino with the foot injury, and of course, William Saliba was ill. I'm sure he'll have been rested for this game, and he'll be targeted to play the Wolves game next week, Wednesday. So it's going to be very challenging. Obviously, it's so sad to see Kai Havertz out injured. Havertz would have been very important in the game against Brentford, but sadly, he got injured. But, we have to make do with what happened. My own disappointment was even more on Eze. With all the injuries that we had in central attacking midfield, this was a game that I expected him to come in and really shine, but he played so poorly that he was yanked up at halftime, and that tells you a lot. Okay, going to our latest results. As for Arsenal, the last 5 games, we've seen them play 4 wins and a draw. Yeah, we had a 3-2 win against Kairat Almaty, goals from Vitor Gyökeres, Kai Havertz, and Gabi Martinelli. It's surprising to see us concede 2 goals, but obviously we had 8 wins from 8 games played in the Champions League, guaranteeing us first spot and obviously second leg place at the Emirates all the way to the finals. And we followed that up with a 4-0 win against Leeds, goals from Zubimendi, Madueke, Gyökeres, and Gabriel Jesus. And we followed this up in another competition, winning the Carabao, with a win against Chelsea. Kai Havertz scored the only goal on the night. Then we switched to the Premier League. We saw us play Sunderland. Martin Zubimendi opened the scoring, and of course, Vitor Gyökeres scored a brace. And our last game was against Brentford. Madueke, lovely header, that kind of flat-footed Keleha. But unfortunately, Lewis Potter got an equalizer from another chaos-driven set piece from Michael Kayode. As for Wigan, on the other hand, they had a 3-3 draw with Doncaster, and this was followed with a 2-0 loss to Wycombe Wanderers. Then they lost at home 1-0 to Lincoln, and now went away to Peterborough and lost 6-1. I think that was the game that cost Lowe his job. Then Glenn Welland, in his caretaker role in the first game he played at home to Reading, lost that as well. So clearly you can see how Wigan are in the trenches. In 30 games played so far in League One, they've had 7 wins, 10 draws, and 13 defeats. And they are odds on to go down to League Two if they continue in this kind of form. To play the lineups, I was trying to rotate, but with the injury issues we have, we might not rotate completely, but this is just what I have in mind. Kepa Arrizabalaga, who is our cup keeper, will continue to play. I'm just wondering what's going to happen in the Carabao Cup final, whether Kepa will be the one that we selected instead of Raya. I hope that we play Raya. Raya is an amazing keeper. Kepa is good, but he has this, his funny moments. In defense, Miles Lewis-Kelly will come back to the fray. He's someone that has been quite peripheral this season. In right back, you will see Ben White play ahead of Timber. Timber has played too many games and will need to get some well-deserved rest. Calafiori is someone that missed games as well, coming back from injury. So I'm guessing he will play alongside Mosquera in central midfield. In central midfield, Nogard will certainly come into the picture. But I think he'll play alongside Zubimendi. I know Rice will do the rest. Sadly, there's no Merino. And we also loaned Nwaneri out. So we're really short in the middle. So I'm guessing Zubimendi will play alongside Nogard. In attacking midfield, we will have Eze. Hopefully, he can you know, do well in this game because certainly against Wolves, they got to be the one that will start ahead of him. So that'll be easy. In the wings, we should have Gabi Martinelli come ahead of Trossard, while Madueke will continue on the right hand side. But Gabriel Jesus should play ahead of Vitor Gyökeres for this one. As for Wigan, I would expect Sam Tickle to remain in goal. And of course, there's Morgan Fox, Jason Kerr, and Will Eimson as a three-pronged, pairing. Matthew Smith and Jack Hunt should play in the wing-back positions, while Jensen Ware and Fraser Murray will play in central midfield. In attack, you have Callum Wright and Harrison Bentoni playing behind their centre forward, Christian Sadie. These lads are in the League One right now. They'll really enjoy themselves at the Emirates, good ground to visit. I'm sure they'll be at the end of a serious drubbing from the home team. To keep tactical battles, I would expect them to keep a very, very serious low block. I want to only go through transition play. But Arsenal should have enough in the time to, get ahead of them, score early, kill emotion, press well. I expect Madueke and Martinelli to have fun with their fullbacks, give a couple of balls in behind the defense to Gabriel Jesus to finish. I hope Eze can actually get a goal as well. He's someone that basically needs to bolster his confidence because we're running out of bodies in that middle and we need him to come up to speed. For set pieces, I think we should be able to get a couple of set pieces in and do what's required of us to get a victory. So to my match prediction, I'm guessing like maybe 4-0 to Arsenal. The last time we played Wigan was in 2014. Gomez scored a penalty. Then Saka scored in the 82nd minute and went into penalty shootouts. But this is a different proposition right now. Wigan is not as strong as they were back in the day. They're currently in League One, so Arsenal should come on decimate them. So yeah, that's your match preview for the Arsenal versus Wigan game. Just hoping that we can just get this out of the way so we can get to Wolves real quick. What are your thoughts, man? Do you think we're going to smash them 4-5? I'd like to see your predictions. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next Arsenal video. Till then, come on, you Gunners.